Apologies, obviously, and there's no public forum. So we might go straight into the declaration of the office holders, and I would invite the mayor to come forward and officiate for that.
Wonderful.
In a place where you can get nice photos.
Yeah, where would you like them to? Lena, we might do it down by Curtis and then we've got those space.
Sit in your seat.
Yeah, perfect.
You're following my hold.
Right. Very exciting for the community board today, and it's an alphabetical order, Jim. Would you like to go through it? The last one as well.
Yeah.
So you just read it out loud.
I do have to read it out loud. Okay, I, Jill Booth, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of Central Otago the powers, authorities and duties invested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Central Otago District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. In the presence.
And fun fact, does everybody know that your photographer grew up here? Yeah. Mark.
I, Mark Jessup, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of Central Otago the powers, authorities and duties vested in me or imposed upon me as a member of the Central Otago District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information Meetings Act 1987, or any other act dated 31st October 2025.
I, Curtis Pennant, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of Central Otago the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Central Otago District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act. Thank you.
I, Vicky Slade, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of Central Otago the powers, authorities and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Central Otago District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act dated at Roxburgh 31st of October 2025.
Professional smile.
And Kathy.
I, Hayden, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of the Central Otago the powers, authorities and duties invested and imposed upon me as a member of the Central Otago District Council by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information Act and Meetings Act 1987, and or any other act.
Fantastic. Okay, so, and now we get to the next order, which is the agenda item 25.6.2, the appointment of the chair and deputy chair. You've had an opportunity to read the paper, and essentially it puts up two options. this community board to select the chair. In the past, it's chosen option B. But that's for you to discuss now and determine which one you want to put. There's a recommendation there, but we'll use that as a start of the 10. Open to any discussion, thoughts or comments?
I think option B seems a quicker one.
Okay.
Most,
Well, if someone would like to put the motion. Mark, and second, Roger. Okay, so the motion can put that, we receive the report and accepts the level of significance, selects system B to the point chair of that. Representative of the board, do we have all the yeas in support of the motion?
Right.
Okay. All right, and against? Perfect, carry. All right, so it is option B. So option B requires that a person is elected or appointed, he or she receives more votes than any other candidate. So now is the opportunity to, are there any nominations for the chair of the Vincent Committee? Teviot, Vincent was yesterday.
Well, we're going to nominate Mark as chair.
So we have
Yes,
a moving and a seconder for that nomination? Okay. Are there any other nominations? No, well, we'll still take the vote. So all those in favour, say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Carried. All right, I will now vacate the chair. Mark?
sit up there. Take
Yeah, yeah.
head of the
Bring your name.
Yeah.
You can go closer. Get aside. You.
Swap you on the neck. Swap you.
Okay, so firstly, thank you all for voting me in, and I'll talk a bit more about a sort of an acceptance speech later, but I'll get forward with the business to start with. So the first item here is a deputy chair, this position is one that is procedural rather than anything else, and it's in the case of me being unavailable for a meeting. I think that it's a position that can change during the training if we choose to do so. So as an initial deputy chair, I'd like to propose Curtis Pound
As deputy.
as deputy.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Okay, I'll put that to the right then. All those in favour? Those in favour, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you. Can change that one.
No, no.
Not just starting to like now. Let's do it.
Okay, so now we're going to adjourn and take some group photos, and then we will reconvene. So cameras will be turned off for a while and take a break.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that, everybody. We'll just have our photos taken. Everybody looked marvellous. So, the next point on the agenda is the adoption of standing orders, but just before we go to that, I'd just like to make a few comments of my own. Jill?
Still not bad.
I understand Jill will be here very shortly. So first of all, thanks very much to all the voters for voting the 5 of us in. It was great to have that confidence from you all. Secondly, I'd like to say thank you very much to Norm Daly, the previous chairman. Is his name Andy?
Yes,
Yes, it is. There's Norm. Thanks very much to Norm. And also to Sally Fineman, who was for 9 years, I think she was 3 terms as a community board member and latterly as a councillor. They did a great job and they worked very, very hard for the community. The next training that as a board that we're going to go into is going to be quite different to the last one. The last 3 years have been quite busy due to a lot of internal council-led priorities and initiatives, and it did make us somewhat inwards looking. We went through processes such as districtisation or centralisation, delegations, representation. The long-term plan obviously took a lot of time. We had a spatial plan. We're in the middle of completing a community plan. And there was some interesting discussions about buildings divestment as part of the long-term plan, which affected us quite passionately, and likewise the divestment of the Roxburgh swimming pool to the council. Who knows what internal issues are going to face us in this term. However, I think I'm looking forward to be looking at making our own agenda and having a lot of things put on the agenda by ourselves, things that matter to the ballot. As far as the election is concerned, I was very pleased to say that we had an encouraging 62% engagement by the Teviot Valley, which ranks very, very highly in New Zealand. I wouldn't like to guess if we're in the top 5 or 10%, but we'd be pretty close to that, I'd imagine. So well done everybody from the Teviot Valley for their encouraging enthusiasm there. Let's not miss the fact that we've got some challenges ahead of us. In terms of our rating, that the community obviously is a very, very important thing to us. So that's one of the things we'll be very, very closely looking at. However, as a board, we have no operational budget to talk of. We look after grants and we look after promotions. Some of that money has been already promised for this year as well. So our role is going to be one of advocacy, proposals, and some of those advocacy and proposals will have 100-year benefit to the community. So it's not a light task that we look at here. We're having to think a long, long way ahead. So we're the earpiece and the voice of the valley. The valley, we are here to listen to the voices of the community and to pass that information back up the chain to the council, as well as championing our own projects that we'll bring to the table. So we can propose, advocate, recommend and advise and lobby for the valley. That's what we can do. We need to do that respectfully, regularly and loudly. We are the voice of the valley and the squeaky wheel will get the oil. So as members around this table here, we are unashamedly parochial for the valley. Curtis, of course, wears 2 hats, and so he also has to consider the broader issues in the whole of the CODC. But we're here to look after the valley, promote what we want. How are we going to do this? Well, I think we need to speak out a bit more loudly about what we're doing and what we can do. And so we've got some plans in terms of how we disseminate information that's going on and disseminate information about the projects and the issues that we're getting involved with. We want to increase our visibility as a board, and so that we can let people know in the community what we're doing. We'll be looking at an annual work plan for us, which will have items. Got some items that I want to put on it, and hopefully all of you board members will also add some more items to go on it. And then we can internally determine what the order of priority is for each of those and bring them to the table over the next few months. I've spoken to the Mayor about trying to negotiate and come to some agreement about how we work as one of the three pillars of the community and CODC. So we have us as a community board, we have the councillors, and then we have the staff who do all work. So there's a manner by which we need to be able to communicate and disseminate ideas. So I think we need to get more formality into that so that we know exactly what we're doing without having hard and fast rules and saying you can't do that, you can't do that, but just get some ideas about what we can and can't do, because I wasn't clear about that in the last term. So I'm looking forward to a great year ahead. Later on in the meeting, I'll talk about a few projects that I have, and I've already asked you guys to have a bit of a think about any projects that you'd like to put on the list as well. But later on in the meeting, towards the end, we'll talk about a few projects that we've got ahead of us. So thanks to you all for standing. Thanks to you all for agreeing to be a member of the community, and I look forward to 3 great years together. So we're going to now move to the next item on the agenda, which is the adoption of standing orders.
Yeah, so I can talk to this. These are the standing orders. We do need to adopt them. There is a legislative change coming, which is actually going to just have mandatory standing orders for councils and community boards. But in the interim, these are the ones that we had last year. With that sort of change effect the law next month, then this will just pass over until that happens. And as we discussed in a couple of other community board meetings, this is just a framework to help keep the meetings going and that sort of stuff. Generally speaking, but probably in rural councils and provincial councils, they're probably not needed, but you still have to have standing orders.
Right. Thanks very much for that explanation, Peter. These standing orders have been on our agenda. There's quite a few pages of them. I've had a read. So is there any comment before we put it to vote? Someone like to propose a standing? Thank you, Chris. Could I have a second, please, for the standing order? Second. Thank you, Betty. All those in favour, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. That was unanimous. Thank you. So we move to the second point on the agenda, which is code of conduct.
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same as well. The government is legislating, and that'll come in December, which will be a mandatory code of conduct, but we do need to adopt the code of conduct to get us through to to when the legislation kicks in. So this is last year's code of conduct, which carried through. So it's just going to carry us over to the interim until it's done.
Will we have a vote on the code of conduct in January when it comes, or it's mandatory?
If it's mandatory, it's under the legislation we must adopt it, I guess. So it's just comes into law and we put it immediately into effect.
So are they going to make a mandatory for community boards, because community boards didn't, were under no obligation to sign the code of conduct, so the community board rather than council?
I believe the code of conduct will apply equally to the community board as it does to the council.
So that there will be a change, because they actually says that councils actually don't have, community boards actually don't. As a councillor, you have to sign it. As a community board member, you don't.
Do councillors sign the?
Same as the standing orders, I don't have to sign. Oh, well, sign up to it, but community boards, it was that they don't have to, don't have to adopt code of conduct, they don't have to.
I'm no lawyer, but the last part of your declaration was in any other acts. I would have thought that the government legislates on the code of conduct, that would fit that definition of other acts that are relevant to local government. So I would have imagined then that when it's mandatory, it comes into effect and it impacts councils and really.
And as a board, we accept it as a whole rather than individually groups.
Yeah, and I guess accepts the word.
Yeah.
I mean, if legally it's required,
Yes.
then legally we have no option other than to apply it.
So, there we have it. Again, it's been on our agenda papers for a week or so, we will have all read it. The recommendation is that we receive the report, accept the level of significance. We note the advice given on relevant legislation. Thank you, Peter. And that we, to adopt the code of conduct, noting that the new mandatory one will come in either later this year or next year. So those are the recommendations. Do I have any, could I have a proposal and a seconder for those recommendations, to accept those recommendations? Thank you, Curtis. Thank you, Hayden. All those in favour? Aye. Against?
No, I'm against. I think we need to know what's in the first code, in the new current code of conduct. And because it's been completely rewritten and it's been completely changed. And I think everyone should have a good chance to have a look at what they're taking on first.
Yeah, I guess they're absolutely right. So that will be made available to us before the relevant meeting where we have to adopt it, whether that's, we don't have a meeting to December. Oh, well, anyway, whenever we have to adopt it, whether it's December or January. And at that point,
I can circulate the draft code of conduct because it has been out for submission.
great.
And that's all right. I can feed that through to Sarah who can push it out.
Great. And it's a common code of conduct for all community board members and all councillors throughout New Zealand, is it, Peter? It's not specific to TVCP.
Standard across New Zealand, all 67 councils, 11 regional councils and all.
It does, in relation to that question, it applies to members of the governing body of a local authority, members of a local board, members of a community board, and members of a committee or subcommittee appointed under the Local Government Act.
Thank you. So at that point, I guess members will have to decide whether they want to abide by that or not. If they don't, then I guess that leaves them not from being on council. Yeah, on the community board. Anyway, we'll face that when we come to it. So that was 25.6.4. 25.6.5 is council organisations on policy for appointment of directors. Wayne, are you going to speak to this? Are you going to report also?
Yeah. Congratulations. Just to make you aware of this policy, just in light of the fact that this board in particular has representatives on various committees like trust and whatnot. So basically, just to make you aware that this policy exists, but I don't think it's anything too onerous on anyone. So it's just to make you aware that this policy exists.
Thank you. So it's recommended we receive your report, note the contents, and receives the notes of the contents policy prep. Item C. Receives and notes the contents of the policy on appointment and remuneration of directors to council controlled organisations and council organisations. Do we get paid for being on these committees?
No.
That's
This is the policy that you don't. Oh, well, you do it for this board. Yes.
Yeah, but the
But
committees.
what it's saying is that if you're a member, like a voting member of a group, perhaps that
That's right.
it's getting remunerated, you're not.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Well, that's the recommendation. I think we do need to propose and accept that.
We can move. Right.
Okay.
Everybody seconded.
Who would like to move this one?
I'll move it.
Jill, thank you. Seconder.
Yeah, second it.
Vicky, thank you. All those in favour? So does that bring us to the appointments?
Yeah.
So,
Talk to us.
sure.
What came up yesterday in the Vincent Community Board was, with just the natural evolution of community groups within the wards, they thought that, they had an agreed list of this as well, but they thought there's probably other groups that have evolved which probably deserve to be considered. And so what they decided to do was, leave this on the table, have a half-day workshop, and then canvass the members of the community board. So, well, are there any other groups who aren't represented, who should be represented, that require the AGM? And the half-day workshop was also a chance for the community board to spend some time together, to gel and work out how they're going to operate as a group. And we're happy to facilitate that if that's what the community board wanted to do.
Thank you, Peter. Comments?
Just a point of clarification, the RESIP committee is the one liaison is separate to the entertainment steering group. Yeah, so does the entertainment steering group need to be added to this list? The rebuild? Yes, yeah. Can they be added now? Yeah.
Okay. There are a couple that we know have won't need anybody, and that's the Roxburgh Cemetery Trust Committee. That's now council run operation, and so that I don't know if that committee exists anymore, but certainly the council are running the cemetery. So whilst we did have someone appointed that last time, I don't think we need to do that. So I think that the Roxburgh Cemetery Trust Committee can be removed, and likewise the Roxburgh Swimming Pool. That's no longer run by a community organisation, it's run by the council. So there is no committee for it to be part of. Certainly, as a community board, we'll have be looking to the new benefits of the new arrangement. But I don't think we'll be appointing anybody to anything there. I have got a suggested list of a few people that I put on board, so I have spoken to you all about various boards. What's the feeling about making a decision now, or does anybody aware of other boards that we might want to add, the PSD being one of them, which I think is a good idea?
That list pretty much covers pretty much most of the groups.
Yeah.
This is just a question. With the grant money that was given to the shop, does anybody need to just keep a little liaison going there?
On the
Just
rock.
very casual.
Talking about on the rocks?
Is it called on the rock?
Yeah. Yeah. ROX, not ROCKs.
Okay, I was just wondering because community grant money had gone into that, whether there. Oh my God, I hate oversight to start with, but does there just need to be a bit of a liaison with?
I think we could ask them for a report. I think there is certainly a
I mean,
process.
it doesn't mean that a community group.
Yeah.
Just.
But there already is a process for
That's right, there is a requirement, they have to report, yes, and that committee, Rebecca and the team will bring those reports back on an annual basis to show how they went with with the grant.
Yeah. So I think that'll probably suffice for that one, but is there any others that we? Yeah. Okay, I'll run through the list as it stands at the moment, and then we can determine whether we want to do that now or whether we put it off the table for now. And so the order, I've written a slightly different order, but hopefully we can handle that. So the Teviot Walkways Committee, I've got Becky Slade. The Teviot Museum Committee, I've got Becky Slade. That's all I've got you for. Now, with these committees, it doesn't mean to say you have to attend every meeting. It doesn't mean to say that you have a greater or less. You determine the degree of interactions that you have with them. We don't have, typically these groups are not ones that they have contentious voting. Let's just keep an eye on things is effectively what it is. Rebecca Bursary, I've got Curtis Pennant for that one. Curtis, you're a past recipient, I believe.
Indeed.
They didn't do one last year. They didn't commit any funds last year.
No.
In fact, they asked us if we wanted to continue putting money in.
Yeah.
And we said no, because two people just,
It's both the district.
decided not to. So, but I'll leave you with that one potentially.
Yep.
McPhail Charitable Trust, I've got you, Curtis, and myself.
Yep.
The Teviot Prospects, I've got Hayden, as the, community board member there. I'm an independent member of that group. McDonald Trust, I've got, Hayden and myself. And the Medical Services Trust, I have myself. And that just leaves the rest home without somebody. And we don't have to appoint anybody today to that.
I'm on that as the secretary
Right.
of the, yeah, the rest of I'm the secretary of that.
So. If
I'll
we,
do this time.
is it appropriate for you to be our eyes and ears on that? Or
Well, Jill was just there.
Jill, be the rest time, yes, okay.
I was going to say, if we use an example, Council Tracy Pedersen is on the committee for the hospital, and also the representative.
Yeah.
So that would be fine.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got Jill, given that it is appropriate, that Becky could be the person, you still have a big hand up for that?
Oh, well, Becky and I will see where now.
Great, fantastic.
Over wine.
Yeah.
So,
And sorry, and you do know that the item McDonald, I do the admin of that through my employer, so
yes,
I'm kind of involved a little bit as well.
thank you.
That is with a different hat on.
Yeah, I think it's slightly different, yeah.
Yeah, is that even like?
No,
No, because I just practically just do all the admin and do everything else and don't have legal decision making. I don't make any recommendations, I just collate.
and the other position that we talked about was adding the steering group for the Community Entertainment Centre rebuild, the PSG. What's the P stand for? Project Steering Group. So if we were to appoint a person to that, how would we do that? Who would it be? Put that open to discussion. Right? You are the chairman of that at the
No, just the community board rep.
the community board representative. Okay. Well, we should continue that. I think.
Well, that doesn't need to change them, does it?
No. Right. Okay. Just articulate that. So if that's our full list, and given that we haven't got anything coming, mucking into the table for discussion on other ones, we've agreed on the deletion of 2. I think we're in reasonable agreement. So I think we're probably.
So, yeah, that one. Yeah,
Is that the one that's?
yes, it is, technically, it is, yeah.
That's what they call the PSG.
Oh, but that's separate.
No, it's different. So so when the building existed, we had a liaison.
So you could put it on hold if
Yeah.
it's not an active
Yeah,
group at the moment.
Yeah.
There is no building.
yeah, that's, yeah,
It probably will become so within the training.
yeah. There's a degree of overlap because you've got a member of that committee on the steering group, so I just wonder.
Should we put you on that for now, and then if it bubbles up?
Yeah, and that, yeah.
Another person, or an independent person.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be your backup.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to, I like, just probably whatever's easier for less duplication, because they're in pretty close lockstep at the moment. But I don't know, what's everyone else's thoughts?
Keep it easy.
Vicky?
Yeah, I'm just happy if Becky wanted to.
I'm happy to like fit it, so there's,
Okay,
yeah.
why don't we make that person, this one here, so entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, and more I think about it's better it's not me, because there could be, I wouldn't say competing interests, but
Yeah.
there could be what RESIP want and what the community wants with the building could be different.
So there's a degree of separation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, take
I'm happy to say that.
That's three jobs.
Sweet.
Okay. And, so this swimming pool, door, cemetery.
Good question.
That way. Okay. All right. So here we at that, do we have a proposal and a second, I think, in bulk?
Please.
Who'd like to propose that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Curtis. Can we have a seconder for that, those appointments, please? Thank you, Hayden. All those in favour? Say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks, Tane. There is, it's a two-way street being on there. You know, it's learning from them as well as helping them. And also it's an opportunity for you to disseminate a little bit of information about what's going on here. So we're the eyes and ears of the community and the community board. So you can promote issues and initiatives, interface between us, and advocate for issues, bring them to the table here. And, you know, all the people on these groups are community members. It's your opportunity to get into those groups and be available to them, to listen to their, engage with them and listen to what's making them tick. And if necessary, bring things back here to the table. Generally at our meetings, each of the members of the board have an opportunity to speak towards the end of the meeting. And it's usually at that time that you would say, I've attended this meeting and if there was a particular issue that was discussed that needs is of interest, then you would say, I went to the swimming pool meeting and we discussed the horrific problem with this, or the great way it's running, or whatever comes up. So, fantastic. Do we vote? Stuff. Okay. What's next? Okay, so the proposed meeting schedule, why?
Yep, so you see in your agenda there, a proposed meeting schedule for the remainder of this year and also for 2026. We plan to keep it the same as what it was last Friday, in that meetings are 6 weeks, more or less 6 weeks. Sometimes they might be a little bit closer together, sometimes either side sort of thing. But around about 6 weeks, and we'll keep them the same time as well, unless there's any great desire to move anywhere else time wise. But yeah, I think we'll just give you the same.
Last time round, I suggested that maybe we hold two community board meetings a year at night, so that, because there's a lot of people that are interested in coming, but don't. And I do realise they can watch online, but it's just something to them.
Other community boards hold it after lunch, but not many do it at night, do they?
No, but that's, it's
Well,
only to a year.
well, yeah, what I'd say is that, although I don't think we need to commit to, you know, this particular meeting in 2026, but we could definitely think about one and schedule it accordingly.
Yeah, and if there's something like big coming up that community is like really engaged with or involved with, maybe we could just make it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But certainly not everyone, or, you know, but just maybe 2 a year.
Yeah, we can explore that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if there's nothing of major community involvement, speaking as this.
Yeah, we did change during the last triennium halfway through to go
We
from,
changed.
afternoon meeting to morning, which is fine for me.
Is that okay for you guys to have one in the morning?
No.
Not taking quite.
It's fine. I mean, we work in what the community board want. I mean, if it's going to be a real topical discussion, then we can hold it in the hall room, where you have a larger crowd.
Well, it's sweat, you need.
Well, that's- Well, we always get But yeah, absolutely, it can move.
That's the community board did that last time, if there was somewhere else that you wanted to hold it, if for example, you wanted to have one at night and one in Miller's Flat or something like that, just, it's indicated a couple of months in advance.
But we're just committing to the day here, not time.
That's right.
Just the regular.
We can plan that as a
I
council.
just go about you guys traveling down and onto, because sometimes it's just a.
Still works. So, I noticed that we don't have a meeting in, no, we don't have a meeting in May.
Well, probably it's good.
We'll go on holiday.
Just the way the 6 weeks.
That's just the way it is. That's the way it's work.
Well, the deputy chair might just bring into action, because that's the month I'm going to be away.
Oh, man, just, yeah, let's adopt it.
Okay, so that's the meetings, that's what we do, is it?
Yeah.
Thank you. So all those in favour of proposer and seconded, do we? Okay.
You can propose.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll second it.
One move. One move. If we accept those dates, there's one.
Yeah, second
Thank you. Done. All those in favour?
it.
Right. So the final thing on the agenda here at the moment is, the day of the next meeting, but I would like each person around the table to have a chance to have a say as well after that. So, given that's on the agenda, the next one, 20th of November, no one's got any issue with that, I take it, because we just agreed to the calendar. Oh,
Yeah, I am not here. I'm in the college that week.
okay,
So I may be able to join via Teams. It just depends where I am.
okay.
So, yeah,
So that's
but
better.
I will.
Yeah.
Um,
So attendance by Teams or some other electronic means has been successfully done in the past, so please, that would be good. Even if it's just for various parts of the meeting, like if there's like something specific that might be a half an hour window. The other thing I'd like to mention is that, the Zoom in doesn't always work. If you're overseas in particular.
And if you're overseas, maybe that's, you're having a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are looking to update the audio visual stuff for this year. Hopefully that's improved our nations. We have been up to this.
Okay. Okay, so that's agreed in our meeting will be on the 20th or Thursday, the 20th of November. So that concludes the things that are on the agenda. I'd just like to go around the table and have each person have a chance to have a quick say about why they're here, what they hope to do, what they hope to achieve, anything in particular they want to get off their chest, they want to resign. Curtis, do you want to start?
I'll just report back. I have had my induction with the rest of you last week and another day and a couple of days in Alex at council, and I'd just like to report that we plan to hit the ground running and engage with the community in different and new ways, and be forward looking and optimistic towards the future, being mindful of the daily realities resident space as well. So lots to be positive about, and there was one councillor there who'd been there for a while who said that it was the most different time he'd felt in his time there. So yeah, I think we're going to see some good things coming our way and the district's way, and there's plenty to be excited about, particularly down here for the entertainment centre rebuild, potentially a big infrastructure project and lots of other things. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Thanks, Billy. Jill?
Nothing to get off my chest, just glad to be back and looking forward to another 3 years of trying to serve the community.
Okay. Vicky?
Cool, I'm very excited, very humbled to be elected by the community to represent them. So I'm really looking forward to building good relationships with council and the community. And I think, yeah, I agree with Curtis. I think there's a really good vibe. It feels new, it feels fresh, it feels enthusiastic, and I think it's great. So I think we've got to just build on that, keep the communication going. I think that's the biggest thing is communication. Then yeah, so yeah, same thing. I'm looking forward to what the next 3 years hold and see what we can do. So, yeah.
Thank you. Hey,
Just wanted to say, thank you very much for being on here, and also, being out in the community, touching base with people, in issues or things going forward, and any major projects that, so,
fantastic. Thanks, guys. So just for, as a summary, I've got a list of a few things that I think we'll talk about, and we'll get our agenda over the training, hopefully most of them in the next 6 months. There's quite a long list of issues, nearly all of the positive ones, going to be facing us in the next 3 to 6 months. Internally, we'll be working on the long-term plan. So I urge you all to think about issues and items that are Teviot Valley related that we might want to put on the long-term plan. The long-term plan is the Achilles heel, if you like, of the way the council works. And if we want things done in this valley, we've got to advocate for them, get them put on there. I think it would be true to say we've been guilty of not having enough stuff on the long-term plan in the past. And rather than being critical of that fact, we've got to look at ourselves and say, why isn't there stuff on it? Either we're very happy people and very happy community, and everything's going well, so we don't need stuff on there, or we're, as a community, abdicating our desire to improve. So as a group, I think we should really talk to people and see if we can get things on that long-term plan. We'll talk about also in the near future. We'll talk about our reserves. We've got $961,000 worth of reserves. So we'll have a chat about how we can use those reserves, or if we need to use the reserves. There's no compulsion to use them, but those reserves will not be growing anymore. They used to grow generally through rates. It'll be unlikely that they grow again. So we have to work out what we might use them for, or how we want to look after them. A few projects that I've got on the list of things to go on the table in terms of local monitoring and advocacy. We're all keen to have a look at the swimming pool running well. And David, I'll probably maybe at the next meeting ask for you to give us a short, report and what we've got looking forward for the future for the swimming pool. We've got some other issues that are in front of us. Potentially Onslow is going to hit the papers on a regular basis, I'm sure. Now, I wouldn't have said that 3 weeks ago, but it's funny how things change. So that could be something that comes across our table, and we might have to do some good thinking about that. Some other projects I've got on the back of my mind that, again, we'll talk about and may come to a table are some community housing initiatives for the elderly and the unfortunate people. And some of these are broader that are for the whole of the CODC as well, but we've got to play our part. And if we can take a leadership role in the community here, it'll maybe even bring some things to the council table. Obviously, we're working on the entertainment centre and community centre rebuild. That's a huge issue that we're working on, and that is one of the 100-year issues that we're going to work on. And so it's got to be taken very seriously and very carefully. We've just had a spatial plan done, last year. We've had a community plan done this year. Haven't seen the rest of it yet, but those two things will be all together. And hopefully there'll be a few things drop out of that are initiatives that we can champion and achieve during our training. The Mills Domain Sports and Recreation Hub is underway. I was working on it yesterday. So we're hoping to have that complete by the end of March. So we'll keep you updated on that. We'll have a big opening day there. And I've got a project that we're thinking about in terms of a new Teviot Valley Investment Foundation that can be a springboard for the future, that would have a repository for community funds. In the past, those funds may have ended up in a Teviot Valley Ward Reserve, but in the future, if we have another option for them to go into a Teviot Valley Investment Foundation, that might be another option, which would be outside of the community board and outside of the council. But as a community leaders, we may be able to spearhead that and advocate for it.
I've been buying a lot of tickets.
That's the other option. So that's all I have on my list of ideas for the future. You know, I look forward to having a busy time. Thank you all for coming. Is there any other items that general business anyone else would like to raise?
Just, this is just a future thing, because we don't have the hall to do our Christmas thing, because last year was the first time we did our Christmas thing in the hall, and it worked really, really well. So I'm just wondering if maybe it's a bit of a heads up, and I haven't spoken to anybody about this, is that we may need help with the street stoppage to hold our Christmas.
I think that the business group is sort of thinking about having a Christmas do up by the bowling green.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I'm just putting council on standby just in case we need to do something with roads, roading or whatever for it, because I know the council has helped out previously.
Only 45 days is the process.
Yeah.
And state highway, yeah, there's obviously.
Oh, last time we didn't do it on state roads,
That's
on
left side.
left side street.
Yeah.
And that's what, 45 days? How
The
far was
left-
Christmas?
Yeah. Pick a spot quickly.
If it
But
was
this,
there,
business group and Sally and Co, they'll have to work that out first.
they're thinking of Friday, the 19th of December.
Because I wasn't at the last
Yeah,
meeting.
that's the current plan.
And that's that, so we wouldn't need any stoppage, signage. Help.
Always do is help, but I can't think of what to do at the moment. Yeah, that's a good point, John.
No, that's all good, that's something.
All right. Oh, well, if that's nothing else, well, hereby.
The offer is on the table though, if you wanted a half a day workshop and you wanted it facilitated, we're putting that off for all the community boards. That's it. Have taken it up, we're just having to find a time that works for them. If Teviot would want that, then just let us know.
Do you think we can do?
Well, it's not for me to determine, it's for yourselves. If you don't want it, that's completely fine.
Okay, we'll have a chat amongst ourselves and we'll work out, we'll certainly will be having meetings outside of this room, or have some general chats and a bit of workshop like that might help. Have a chat. I'll let you know, Peter. Thank you very much for the offer. Appreciate it. All right, therefore, at 11:14, formally close the meeting, our inaugural meeting. Thanks.
Well done, Mark.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Done. Is that all?